All right, welcome back to another G Auto Repair YouTube video. And if this vehicle looks familiar, it's because it is back. You guys can recall or seen the other video. This is the 2014 Lincoln MKZ that came with a I don't remember the code, but it was for a fuel pressure too high code on the low side, and also a p0171 system lean code. Well, the vehicle is back, this time with a different symptom. We did fix that sensor code, if you guys can recall, but I didn't have enough time to take care of the other system lean code, and it became a whole fiasco, and I was running out of time, so the customer picked it up, and a few months later, here we are again, taking a look at it. So this time it came back with the same p0171 system lean code, but now we have an additional p1450 code. Now I've already done a little bit of check on this, so I already know what the issue is going to be. The p1450, which is unable to bleed tank vacuum or something up. I don't remember the exact definition. It's worded kind of funny, and when I first saw the code, I was like, what is this? I've never seen this code before. But it seems like it's the same thing for a evap system leak code. That's what I translated it in my head. The issue is this valve right here is a common issue. There is a bulletin on this on these Lincoln and Ford. The same thing happened to my my Ford F-150. By the way, the complaint initially was that the car, they put gas in it, and then they had to wait an hour for it to start. It would turn over, but it would not start. So I asked the customer, well, does this happen every time you fill up? And he kind of thought about it for a second. He says, you know what, now that you mention it, ironically, it has happened every time that I filled up or added fuel to the gas tank. So the light bulb immediately turned on. I said, wait a minute, this sounds like a purge valve problem. And pretty much that's what it is. This valve, it's hard to see because you got this intake in the way, but it's this evap purge valve right here is stuck open, so it's all those fumes are coming straight into the engine and kind of choking it, so it has a difficulty starting when you right after a fill up or something like that. So we're gonna take care of that. It also has a coolant leak, which I already checked. This is coming from the radiator, so we got to deal with that. And an oil leak right behind this vacuum pump right here for the brake booster. So several things that are going on with the car now. We're going to address those hopefully, but the main problem that I want to center this video around is that p0171 code. I was unable to resolve it the first go around, so now I want to dive in here and try to figure out. My suspicion, and even from back then, my suspicion was, I think I have clogged fuel injectors. This is a GDI system, you know, maybe the tips are all carboned up or something, I don't know. Or maybe it's just clogged, I don't know. But based on what I saw the first time, and I've been thinking about it ever since I've worked on this car the last time, I'm like, man, I think these injectors are going to be clogged. Now, it's difficult to confirm that the traditional way because you have this high pressure pump in the way. So you can check the low side fuel pressure all you want and try to rig the injectors to activate them all day long, but you're not going to get an accurate reading on the low side because you got this pump in the way. You can't really do that. I know it's not a vacuum leak, even though I did kind of have a small vacuum leak back here the first time, because this has a map sensor, and it uses that to determine the load. So this kind of works different than on a mass airflow sensor vehicle, where if you cause a vacuum leak, it'll want to die out. Well, in this case, it'll want to rev up. So I know it's not that. The map sensor is right here, by the way. So that's what I want to confirm. Is it an injector or two or three or all of them, you know? That's what I want to try to figure out, and I'm trying to think outside the box and, you know, see how I can confirm that. The official Ford scanner, whatever they call it, I can't think of it off the top of my head, but there's a system there where you can do an injector flow test and then determine if you got one plugged up in relation to the rest of them. Unfortunately, my Autel doesn't have that. I looked, unless I'm not looking in the right place. I looked and I couldn't find it. There is no such injector flow test using the Autel. So I'm gonna kind of have to make my own test here to confirm that. So let me get set up, and I'm just gonna do, I probably won't get to the actual test today, but I'm just gonna do some preliminary things with you guys, just kind of thinking outside of the box here and tossing some ideas around and trying to look at some stuff to see if I can when I do go try to do these tests, see if I can come up with a test that will give me the best answer. So stay tuned. This is probably gonna get interesting. All right, so we're back. We're in the vehicle, and what I want to do is, like I said earlier, when I would clear the memory of the car will start running like crap, really. And what happens is, as the fuel trims start compensating, it'll smooth out. So what I want to do is I want to clear the memory, let it misfire while I look at a power balance, and then what I'm gonna do is what I'm gonna do is start clear the memory, and then I'm gonna watch the power balance and see if the misfires or the roughness is into 1 or 2, 3, 4, all cylinders, whatever. This is a 4-cylinder car, so let me go over here to service that powertrain. Okay, we're gonna reset keep alive memory. All right, we're gonna reset all the values. We're gonna turn the ignition to off. Okay, switch on. Okay, test is now complete. Switch to off. Okay, and we're back in business. So now I'm gonna go to hot functions. Okay, and I'm gonna go to cylinder, power balance. Oh wait, I gotta turn on the car for that. Okay, so the car is on. I can feel some roughness. There it is. And we're gonna observe, and it seems like the misfire is concentrated in 3 and 4. I'm sorry, 3, 2. There is some misfires on 4 and 1, but I want to see where is the biggest culprit. That's what I want to see in it, and it looks like it's number 3. Remember, I'm suspecting clogged injectors, so they could all be partially clogged, but I want to see which one is the worst. I don't know if that makes any sense to you guys. So it looks like it's pretty bad on 3 and 2. Like I said, they're all showing misfires, but I want to see where it's concentrated. It looks like the worst cylinders is 2, 3, and 4. The top cylinder is 3. The top 2 is 2 and 3, and the top 3 cylinders that are misfiring is those 3, 2, 3, and 4, with the occasional one on cylinder 1. Okay, so at least I got an idea where to concentrate. So I'm trying to figure out how can I do some kind of flow test with the injectors, and then I can compare the numbers, knowing that my biggest culprits seem to be 3 and 2, 3, 2, and 4. See, right now it seems to be 2 and 3, and then that way I can compare those values. I haven't decided. I don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but it feels like it's smoothing out already. But as you can see, 2 and 3 right now are the worst. So this is a little useful tip, a little useful technique here. Okay, so I've already checked as much as I could, and I don't see no kind of PID or anything for a flow test for injectors. I wish it did, unless it's somewhere else that I don't know where, but I know with the original Ford software you can do it. Let's see what's here. And some other stuff there. Let me get out of there. Now it's stuck here. But anyways, I can see here now that our biggest culprit are those 2 cylinders there. So we're gonna kind of concentrate on seeing the difference between those and the rest. I'm pretty sure they're all gonna be work. They're gonna need work. Now, if it is a clogged injector, like I said, they're very expensive. So I'm wondering, can they be flushed? Can they be cleaned? Can, you know, we remove them, put them on a, I don't have the machine, but you know, I guess we can get one and try to clean them out. Would it be cheaper to do that? Would it be about the same? I'm not sure. Those are all things that I got to figure out to see what I can do for the customer. So if we go to live data and look at the fuel trim, you're going to see that they're going to be positive. Probably not as positive as I saw the first time, because that valve is stuck open, so it's drawing fumes constantly from there. So that's probably what's helping it a little bit too. Let me see here. Let's see, fuel rail. See, so I'm gonna have to, you know, use the fuel rail pressure PID, and then maybe use my injector pulsar thingamajiggy to see the pressure drop and make sure that they're even all across the board. So basically what the Ford program is designed to do, I'm gonna do manually. Okay. Fuel long-term fuel trim is at almost 20%, 19.5. Last time I saw it, it was like in 30. But again, maybe it's sucking fumes from the short term is positive 0, 1, you know. So the computer is able to compensate for the lack of fuel. That's why I'm pretty sure I have a true system lean problem. I don't think I have a skewed sensor, O2 sensor, or anything like that. That's what I'm thinking. And of course, I can always be wrong, because I did kind of play around with the O2 sensor last time, and it seemed like it was working correctly. Okay, so for right now, that's all I'm gonna do. I already have an idea. So next time I come on, we're gonna try to execute the tests. I probably won't be able to do that till Monday. because it's late already and I don't work tomorrow, so I'm gonna take the day off. Okay, so like I said, there's no serious misfire, but you can tell that the engine is running a little rough. So we're gonna go ahead and conclude for right now, but at least we got some information that we're gonna use and we're gonna try to come up with a solution. So here we see that we have 113,000 miles. Those intake valves are probably gonna be filthy. The throttle body is probably gonna be filthy. So if we do gotta pull these injectors out for any reason, I'm gonna recommend that we go ahead and service everything we can possibly service now that we're there, just to avoid issues down the road where we gotta come and tear everything apart again. So well, that's gonna be it for now. Thanks for hanging in there, guys, and we'll catch you when we're ready to do some actual testing. Ciao for now. Alrighty then, so we're back with the Lincoln MKZ, and kind of set up here. I try to find out if the Autel was able to support that relative flow test, injector test, and from what I found out from my provider for Autel is that no, it does not. And so now I got to figure out another way. So what I figured was I could use the PID for the fuel rail pressure sensor, and then use this external injector tester to activate the injectors for a set amount of time, and then measure the pressure drop, and then that should give me some kind of idea of what's going on with these injectors, if they are clogged or what. Again, this is going to be relative to each other. I don't have a specific value of how many PSIs a good one should drop, or anything of that sort. So this is going to be kind of me thinking outside the box here, and see if I can figure this out with some kind of level of certainty, because these injectors are pretty expensive, and I would hate to replace them or whatever, and then that's not the case, and it could still happen. Who knows? I mean, I'm not perfect. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and just set this up here. I've already disconnected the connector, which is this one down here by the starter, and here's the part that goes to the PCM, and the other connector that goes to the actual injectors are down here. They may be a little difficult for you guys to see, but it's right here. It's not that bad to access it. So I've just made a couple of jumps here so it can be easier for me to connect to with these alligator clamps, and then I'm gonna get to jump them. I got my wiring diagram here to see which injector's which. Now, if you recall from the last observation that I made using the power balance, whenever I would clear the keep alive memory, it would erase the learned fuel trim, so then the car would run rough, and then I would observe the power balance to see which cylinders are the ones that are most misfiring. And it seemed like it was pretty much 2, 3, and 4, with some also on 1, but mostly 2, 3, and 4. The number 4 injector, I think, being the biggest culprit there, because I think the fire ordering was 1, 4, 3, 2. So yeah, it was like 4 was the biggest guy, then followed by it was kind of between 2 and 3. So I just want to get a comparison there and see what how they relate to each other, and see what the deal is. So without further ado, let's try to get right into it. So okay, you're probably not going to be able to see this on camera, but I'm looking at the wiring for the injectors, and the number 4 injector is gonna be on pin 6 and 14, which should be a yellow, orange, and a blue. So we can look at this wiring right here, okay, because the color on the actual injector side of the harness is going to be the same color, so it's easier to see these right here. So we're looking for yellow, orange. Here it is, yellow, orange, and a blue. Where is the blue? It's probably going to be on the opposite side. Here it is, yellow, orange, and blue. Here it is. So it's going to be this one and this one. This one and this one, which is the third from the left, and then the bottom one. So if I were to connect this like so, it would be these right here. So let me just go ahead and put one in there. Okay, and then let me put this one right here without touching anything. Okay, so that should be connected. All right, so we're starting off with, and of course I left my notepad. Here we go. All right, so we started with, we're gonna call that 2001 PSI, and it seems to be going up slowly but surely. So we put this on the number 2, which is a medium pulse mode. Let's see what it drops to. Okay, I heard it and I did not see no difference. On the contrary, it went up. Okay, so that kind of takes this test down the crapper. All right, let's go to long. Well, I want to change. Well, that's no good. And I'm sure that you guys are watching this and saying, oh no, there's a better way of doing that. And you may be right, I just can't think of one right now. Alright guys, so we're back with the MKZ, and I think I figured out what was my issue the last time we were working. And what happened was, by the way, I am using a new camera, so I don't know how this is gonna, if you're gonna notice a difference or not. I'm trying out a new point of view camera here, and let me know what you guys think. What I think was happening, why I wasn't getting the results that I thought or expected to get, was I was using my old injector tester thingamajiggy, and that was for a 12-volt system. I believe these are high voltage injectors, therefore I could hear the clicking, but I don't think it was enough power to actually open up the valve, so, or the injector I should say. So I think that's what happened. So what I did was I got this all-tool fuel injector signal generator. It's the same thing that I had, but this is more geared towards GDI. It does 12-volt and high voltage injectors. So I did a box opening on that. Feel free to check it out. I'm gonna try to put a link into the description so you can find it easier. And we're gonna redo the test, see if I'm getting what I expected to get. So you're gonna see 2 leads here. These are actually to do 2 injectors simultaneously, from what I understood after reading the instructions. We're not going to do that. We're just going to use one, and we're going to go ahead and turn this on. I got to disconnect my, okay, So what we got here is these leads, and these are actually kind of different from the other one. These one have actual pins, so I may not have to use no jumper wires or anything like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna redo my test. I'm gonna connect here. This might work a little better than the old one I had, actually, because I can use these instead of having to use alligator clamps. Oop. So let me go ahead. Okay, there we go. That's one, and that's two. Beautiful. Okay, so I have it right now, 12 volt, 1000 RPM for 1 minute. Let's just see what that does here. I started off at 755. Oh, wait a minute, that actually did something. That actually did something. Okay, so that's exactly what I expected to see. Wonderful. Okay, and I have it on 12 volt setting. I don't know why. I'm not sure what that's about, but there you have it. It worked. It worked. I saw what I wanted to see, and that was a pressure drop on the injector, on the fuel rail sensor. So I saw exactly what I expected to see yesterday that I wasn't seeing. I think it was just not using the right equipment. Either that, or this has some kind of a smart setting that automatically changes whatever you need to, because I have it set. I had it set on 12 volt. Yeah, and it's working. So there you have it. All right, so let me go ahead and restart the engine. Let me see how I should do this. Yeah, let me restart the engine and let it run for a couple seconds, just to burn off that fuel that I just dumped in there. Let me go ahead and put this here. Start it. Okay. Let it run there for a second. Alright, so we're at about 400-ish PSI. Dropping, going up. You know, it's kind of bouncing up. So let me go ahead and start the screen record so you guys can see what I'm doing easier, or seeing the results that I'm seeing. Okay, so let me go ahead and shut off the engine. I think that's good enough there. All right, so let me go ahead and disconnect here. Let me reconnect my leads. Okay, positive, or should I say negative? Yeah, positive and negative right here. There we have it. Now this is injector 1. This is injector 1. Let me go back here to my notes so I can jot this down. Okay, so we're starting with 330. Let me write that down. 330. Oh, actually it's going up. So all right, let's lower the RPM to about 900. The time, it's automatically set at 1 minute, so we're gonna give it about, I don't know, just a few seconds. I don't need that much. So we're gonna go ahead and activate. Okay, we have 380. Alright, I gave it about 3 seconds and it dropped to 100. It dropped to 100. Okay, let's go ahead and do the same again. let's go to number 4, which was the yellow orange, which was these right here. Okay, this one and this one right here. Okay, so we're at about the same, 3 seconds. All right, drop to about the same, 100. All right, guys, so we're back with the Lincoln. Unfortunately, there's a lot of footage that I was unable to take because of the weather. Right now is just barely the sun wants to come out at this time. So this whole day has been a fiasco with the water. And I was kind of working in between the rain and this and that. It would stop, it would go. So it got really frustrating. And I did what I could in between, and then I finally was able to get a quick break to do what I wanted to do. But I will share the results with you guys, and I've left my notepad somewhere again. Here it is. This notepad has been flying all over the joint today. Alright, so this is what I did, and I probably will put at least the first attempt and all that, so you guys can get the idea of how I did it. I'm just gonna explain exactly what I did to get to the conclusion that I came to. So obviously I had to put the charger on there because what I did was I cranked the car with the injectors disabled, and it was draining my battery, so I had to power up the battery with the charger to maintain it. So what I did was I disabled like I mentioned earlier, the injectors, put my charger on board. I cranked the car. Obviously it's not going to start, so I just cranked the car, and then to get the maximum rail pressure possible which I determined it to be 1700 psi. It would go a little higher than that, but by the time I came down here and walked over, it would start bleeding down. It's very unstable. It pumps up and then it kind of bleeds down a little bit, or if you go on the lower spectrum of it, it wants to, the pressure wants to increase. So it was really difficult to get a perfect still number as you would on a mechanical gauge. So what I did is I just turned the engine over till it got whatever, 1800 psi, whatever. By the time I walked here and got set up, the pressure will be bleeding down. Once it hit as close as possible to 1700, what I did was activated the tool. And then that's another thing that I did with the tool. What I did is I set it at 7, and you may not be able to see this on video, I'm not sure. Like I said, I'm experimenting with a new camera. I set the tool at 700 RPM, which is pretty much idle in this vehicle, 750, somewhere around there, for 5 seconds. So what I did, since I have no control, it's in 1 minute increments. What I did is I put it at 1 minute with the tool disconnected to the injectors. I let it kind of count down to reach 5 seconds, because I wanted to eliminate as many variables as possible, because I did this a bunch of different ways, and my results were kind of inconclusive, and too many variables, because by the time I hit the button, that variable there of my speed hitting the button would alter from cylinder to cylinder. So I try to make it as exact as possible, and it's still not 100%, but at least as exact as possible. So I would set the tool at 5 seconds, hook it up to the connector down there as I showed earlier, and as soon as it hit 1700 psi, I hit the button, and it count down to 5 seconds. So that way I can forget about starting and stop. I could start it and then forget about stopping. It'll stop on its own, and then I can concentrate on the measurement. As soon as it would stop, I would take a measurement, and then I would write that down. So these are the results I got. Starting from 1700 psi, cylinder number 1 dropped down to 380. That's a 1320 psi difference. Number 2 dropped down to 613, which is a 1087 psi difference. Cylinder number 3 went down to 649, which is a 1051 difference. And finally, cylinder number 4 dropped to 492, which is a 1208 difference. Okay, so this actually looks very similar to what we observed on the power balance. The main there were all kind of sputtering, but the main culprits seem to be 2 and 3. Right here, the least difference is 2 and 3. So this kind of matches what I was seeing on the power balance. Again, this is me trying to do a flow test on the vehicle. It's very difficult. You got the high pressure pump on the way. You can't do it traditional, so this is just something that I came up with to at least justify me calling the injectors, to at least give me something that I can say, listen, I did this, I feel that we should go down this route. Did I spend a lot of time? Yes. But I was getting a phone call. Yes, but at least I feel comfortable. Okay, now we can go in there and do injectors. Try to flush them out outside of the car. I don't think you can flush this inside the car. I really don't. I've never been a big believer of those flushes. Do they sometimes work? I'm sure they do, but I've never been a big believer because gasoline is a solvent, is a cleaner. And again, if you disagree, that's fine, and you may have some more information, but I feel gasoline is a cleaner. Injectors, if they get clogged, is because there's some foreign material or something that's gotten stuck in there, and no chemical flush that you do on the vehicle is going to get that out. Maybe if you take them out, do a reverse flush, and then clean the tips, because obviously this is a GDI, the tips are inside the combustion chamber and whatnot, then yes, I think we can get that cleaned out that way, not just putting a magic juice through the gasoline and let it run through. I don't know. Again, that's just my opinion. I'm not saying I'm right. I just feel that's what happens. So I'm just gonna go ahead and call clogged injectors. Again, I don't have a set value. This is just a relative flow between themselves, and I see that 2 and 3 are not flowing as much as 1 and 4, and that's what I saw on the power balance. As a matter of fact, if you were to kind of put this in perspective, you would see exactly what we saw on the power balance. The power balance was, I think, 1, 3, 4, and 2, and what we saw once it was corrected, we saw this number here, like that. Without it corrected, it kind of went down all over the place down here. Every now and then I'll get a misfire here, number 1. Not every now and then, it was pretty consistent, but not as bad as the other 3. When it finally corrected with the fuel trims, 2 and 3 seem to be the biggest culprit. I mean, I could turn it on right now and show you. That's what you're gonna see. This is the waveform you're gonna see on the power balance, right there, with the fuel trims correcting or compensating. So I am satisfied. I don't know what else I can do to prove my theory. I'm just gonna go talk to the customer, see what he wants to do, and then call it and call it a day. If he does approve flushing, cleaning, whatever the case is, I'll probably have to do a separate video on that, and then and then I would like to see the actual final result on this video so you guys can see it. I mean, we got to fix an oil leak here. I already put the new purge valve. I already got that out of the way. I didn't want none of those fumes or anything to interfere with what I was doing. And I got to replace the radiator on this car because it's leaking on one corner. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done on this vehicle. I'm gonna call them here soon and let them know what I got. So stay tuned, and we'll see if we can get to the bottom of this. All right, guys. So we're back with the Lincoln. We've got the new injectors in, and I went ahead and put the new radiator. And what else did I do to it? The radiator, the seal, you know. So pretty much I just gotta finish putting the front bumper and the fascia back together. This radiator sucks to install. So I'm gonna do the first initial startup. Let me go ahead and turn on my screen record so you guys can see it live. And we are going to fire it up. I'm gonna have to put you guys down for a sec. There we go. Finally got the fuel, and we want to see the fuel trim corrections. Okay, so we're at 25%. We got to let it go into a close loop, and then we should see some kind of correction. So everything is pretty smooth. Make sure I don't have no leaks. And there we have it. There's the correction. Negative 16 short term. There we have it. That's what I wanted to see. Negative 17, 16. There's a correction, negative numbers on the short term. So eventually it will cancel out. So we have a total of about 10, positive 10, which is okay. It's acceptable. Positive 10 fuel trim on the long, or total trim, should I say. That's acceptable. 10, 12. You know, that's acceptable. Once you start going the 10 is a little high, but not bad. It's not bad. Once you start going over 14, 15, that's when you start turning on check engine lights, if I remember correctly. So let me double check. I don't have any leaks or anything here. Everything seems okay. Okay. Everything is installed. No weird noises. Alright, negative 20. Negative 20. There we go. Instant fuel trim correction. That is what I'm talking about. So we should be at about, I kind of walked away from it, but should be about negative 9, I'm sorry, positive 9, positive 10 fuel trim, total trim numbers. So again, that is acceptable. I'm just making sure I'm not seeing any leaks or anything. This radiator is a bear to get to. This whole unit, I don't know what they were thinking, but I dropped the whole unit with once you drop this cross member, the condenser, the radiator, the intercooler, the fans, everything goes down with it. So I had to get the refrigerant out and drop everything. It was easier for me to do it that way and removing the bumper so I can get to the bolts than to do it back here and fighting with it. Oh, I didn't realize the AC was on. Okay. I did not realize the AC was on. Well, now that it's on, let me go ahead and wrap this part of it out. And let me double check the trims. and we are looking good. -15. Okay, so what I really want to do is I want to go ahead and maybe clear the keep alive memory, and then see what she does. But I'm probably gonna have to do that off camera because I got several things going on here, and it's not very comfortable to get in the car because I have it on the lift. So this is gonna be a little bit of a doozy. So I got the coolant in, so that's what I wanted to show. As a matter of fact, I'll probably clear all that out and then get back on the camera and give you guys the final to see how it looks like. So let me go ahead and do that. All right, so I just cleared the keep alive memory, and I'm going back to the PIDs here to see. Okay. Okay. Fuel trim. Long term, short term. All right, let me put you guys down and start the car. All right, so it is on. It is on. Let's see what she does. Give it a couple minutes. They're at 0. Still looking for any possible leaks or anything. All right, there we go. So we're seeing some positive 8, 7, 9, all acceptable numbers. So this is a solved situation. Injectors fixed this car, the check engine light at least. Restricted fuel injectors. And one that was kind of crazy. It was either restricted or wide open, or restricted or wide open. One of them was going kind of crazy. It didn't know what to do. So, but the point is fixed. Positive 3, 4, perfectly acceptable. All right, so I have no complaints here, no misfire, no running rough. This bad boy is ready to go. I just got to finish putting the bumper on. I can sleep a whole lot better tonight. And thank you guys for sticking with me and solving this situation. Please like and subscribe, ring the bell so you can get notifications on my newest videos. And have a good weekend. Today is Friday, so I am out. Y'all have a good one. See you on the next video. Ciao.